a lot of people don't know about the Promised Land and don't know about Thomas McGuire, but he was a famous young man. I think he was a member of the legislature, and he had post office in the house over there. And when they were marching to sea, they were coming to Thomas McGuire.
The Anderson family was one of the first black families that moved out of where my dad and mom and where my dad was raised, up at a place called the Horseshoe. And my grandparents bought property then.
We've had quite a journey, and we have quite a bit of history.
We don't give the old timers the credit that they should have gotten. And that's why I'm glad the school board did what they did, because I feel like they represent our families that have worked hard.
The naming of the school represents basically what the Anderson family has stood for all of my life, all our lives. Our parents really put emphasis on going to school. Regardless to whatever else we did, going to school was the foundation of their lives.
My mother and father was determined that we would go to high school and we would finish. And we were required to work, to go to church and Sunday school, contribute something in the community, but to get an education.
I was born 1930, right in the middle of the Depression. The Livesey family, we was right here. And I said, I said, we could have a real school. By the time I come along in 1936, that I would have probably learned how to do a little bit more that I know a little bit more than I know now.
Going to elementary school, which really wasn't supported by the Gwinnett County Board of Education. It was supported by the parents, and the only thing that the Board of Education gave us back that time is some half-wore-out books to study from. And they was hand-me-down books from basically the white schools in the area. The boys would get out in the mornings and cut up wood, start a fire, and at that time was using a building or the church to house the students. And when I got started going to high school, I had to ride a bicycle from Cernersville to Lithonia, where it was a segregated school there too, Lithonia High, or Bruce Street High School. Segregation served its purpose. Integration served this purpose, or serving this purpose. When they integrated the schools, they take a lot out of the black children. And I say that because of the simple facts, it was basically the black teachers that had to find a job. And the white teachers taught. Their culture wasn't our culture. There was a difference there. There's a lot of changes that has been made. But when you look at the price you had to pay for it, sometimes you wonder if it was for the good. And I know it was, because history moves on, or time moves on. It was for the good.
So it's been a struggle, and we'll still have to struggle. But then, what is life if you're not willing to make some sacrifices?
Want to get schooled, because people just didn't know, and if you didn't ask, you know what you can do until you ask and go about it in the right way.
It is a milestone for this school to be named for the families.
So I feel honored to be holding up the name for the Liveseys. I have something to be thankful for. And this is what you call the Promised Land.